I'm thrilled with today's guest. Lawrence Bender is one of the most prolific Hollywood producers of our generation. He has produced movies that have garnered 36 Academy Award nominations, including 8 wins, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, and Glorious Bastards, so many more. He's got a new series out, Red Alert, about October 7th. It's must-see TV. It's on Paramount, streaming on Paramount Plus now. Welcome to the show, sir.
I appreciate it very much, Donnie. Thanks for having me.
So let's just talk about October 7th in general and how it you were surprised at the lack of response you got from people not reaching out to you, seeing you're okay. You had kind of championed so many underdog groups in the past and kind of were disappointed with what came back in return.
Yeah. I've been making movies and TV shows for almost 4 decades now, if you could believe that.
It's crazy.
And it's nuts. And I've always loved making movies about people of different cultures and ethnicities and races and so forth. And across the spectrum. And on October 8th, when we were in a lot of pain, of course, I was safe in my house in LA, but our friends and family were massacred in Israel, and I wasn't getting those phone calls. How are you? You okay? Do you have friends over there? Do you have family there? Can I come over and hang out? And it was really disappointing. So I decided I needed to start focusing on my people. I needed to do something, and Red Alert is one of the things that came out of that.
Talk to me about where the inspiration and how this came about, how you got together with the director and how it got off the ground and the challenges in getting it off the ground.
Yes. Wow. Well, those are good questions. One of the things that happened was there's a gentleman named Rick Rosen, who's a partner with WME.
Sure, I know Rick.
Rick, right? Yeah. So yeah, great guy.
Good.
And he had a guy named Avi Nir, who's the CEO of Keshet. Keshet is the biggest network in Israel. Come to LA a couple months after October 7th and give his experience of the October 7th massacre. And other than Avi being a husband, a father, a citizen of the country, he's also the CEO of Keshet, the biggest news show there. So in the morning hours of that day, where the government didn't have a lot of information, Keshet had journalists in the field, and so all this material was coming in real time. You'd have a journalist on camera reading off his WhatsApp on the phone from somebody in a kibbutz saying, "There's terrorists in my house. Where's the army?" And they're reading it on camera in real time as it's happening, and horrifying. But he has all these feeds coming in, so he saw it all unfolding. And anyway, he gave his presentation. It was incredibly emotional, and I went up to him afterwards and I said, "We need to work together." And he connected me with his team in Israel. And so we started talking about, what should we do? Should it be a movie or a TV show? Should it be in English? Should it be in Hebrew? Should it be a documentary? Should it be a drama? And that's kind of how we got things going. That was kind of the initiation of this all.
And this is a 4-part series, and it's a feature, but it features real life characters from the massacre, that's the wrong way of putting it, but involved in the situation, how their lives affect their lives. And talk to me about the structure.
So we ultimately ended up with this incredible group. I partnered up with a company in Israel called Green Productions, Shani Shrour and Maya Fisher, and incredible ladies. I had this incredible partner. She likes to call me her movie husband. She has a beautiful Israeli husband, but I'm her movie husband, Jordana Rubin. And so first of all, Jordana, in the early part of this, as we were working, she's financing the development. I'm like, Jordana, 1 or 2% of everything developed in Hollywood from scratch ends up going to the screen. And then she's financing the prep because we didn't have all the money we needed. And I'm pulling my hair. She's a dear friend. She's like family. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to get your money back. And she said, "You're going to do it, Lawrence. And she kept going all the way through. So we had this great team of people. And ultimately, we decided to do it about a series of families. And from my point of view, and our point of view, as non-Israelis, we made this for the world to see. We didn't make it for the Israelis, although we wanted the Israelis to love it, of course, and it did great in Israel. We wanted this to be a drama that the world would see. And so we ended up making a 4-part limited series based on certain stories. So, what are those stories, and why do we choose them? And that was important because what is universal, right? Are families, and what is universal are underdogs. And so, most of us are that. So we chose a mother trying to save her boy, and a father trying to survive with his infant, and a husband trying to rescue his wife. Um, and it was really important for us to have an Arab family because most people don't know that Israel is a multicultural
Sure, 2 million Arabs. Right,
country.
right, right.
But most people don't seem to realize that, and that there were Arabs that were unfortunately also murdered.
Yes,
And so it's very important for us to have an Arab family. And these are all true stories. Um, we wanted to have a story about the Nova Festival because a lot of people have heard of the Nova Festival. Um, and but what people don't realize is that although there are hundreds of young people murdered, there are also these police officers who were killed, a lot of them. And these are ordinary everyday people that are police officers, but in a small kibbutz area in southern Israel. These are not SWAT team. These are not army, and they were also terribly murdered. So we created a something that gives you a sense of Israel and something that's really relatable.
and you very emotionally have made connections with a lot of the real characters.
Yeah. So because the show is about real people, um, all those real people we met, we spent time with, they came to the set. Um, and it was and me and Jordan are really the only non-Israelis there. Everyone else had been affected by October 7th. As an example, we filmed in an area where the kibbutz Re'im is, and the kibbutz Re'im was overrun by terrorists. And as we're scouting that area, the head of the kibbutz says, "Do you have a brother? I mean, do you have a key grip by a name, blah, blah, blah?" And we said, "Yeah." He said, "That's my brother." So the key grips on our set brother runs the kibbutz that was overrun. He's thankfully survived. Um, so a lot of everybody at one point or another, we call it being triggered, right? But it's true. Everyone at some point on the set had tears in their eyes. But the people that we represented were there quite often. And I'll tell you just a couple stories that just
Sure.
insane stories. Like there's an actress on the set, Moran, and her niece, young lady, was on vacation in Greece, and she said if a red-headed police officer comes to the set, she's the one who saved my life. And indeed, this red-headed woman named Bat came to the set, and we had them FaceTime each other. And the young lady says to her, "You saved my life. I
Wow.
was hiding behind your feet while you were firing." And it was this crazy. And Bat, smiled and was said whatever she said. She was happy that she saved this young woman's life. And we asked her, "Do you remember this?" She doesn't remember that moment. And we asked her, "Do you remember the names of the people that you saved?" And she saved a lot of people. And she said, "I only remember the names of the people I didn't save."
Wow.
And it was it was such a tough moment because clearly she's happy that she saved this young lady, but the pain of all that trauma and what she went through was bigger than that. And there's so many moments like this on the set. It was really something. There was a woman that I spoke to for quite a long time. By the way, this is while we're filming, so we have to make
Yeah.
our shots.
Sure.
We have to get the equipment there. We have to have
Right.
locations. Uh, and there was a woman there I was speaking to, and I hate to say, her daughter was murdered, and it was like in April. It was like a year and a half later. Um, and I asked her, "How are you doing? How are you surviving? Do you have a rabbi that you speak to? How do you get through the day?" And it was a very deep, tough conversation. Um, but a little while later, someone came to me and said, "This woman you spoke to, um, she said to me, this Hollywood, she doesn't know me from Adam, right? She said, this Hollywood producer guy came all the way from California um, and sat down with me and spoke to me for an hour." Um, and it really meant a lot to her. And then you realize that the very people that were attacked, the very people that were traumatized, feel so alone and they feel isolated. And the world is actually, instead of loving them and embracing them and supporting them, they're attacking them
Yeah.
with hatred. And it became even more of a like not an obligation, but a mission of an important for me and the rest of us to magnify these people's stories and voices when you hear that.
As somebody who spent their life in Hollywood as a Jewish producer, were you shocked at Hollywood's at best indifference to the plight of what was happening post October 7th, and at worst repulsion, as far as trying to put boycotts against Israeli actors and projects? And how did you feel?
I mean, I didn't feel good. I mean, to be honest, I mean, first of all, there's a deep, clearly, okay, just let's break this down for 1 second. Okay, nobody supports the regime of Iran, at least in the Western world, right? They murder indiscriminately because someone wears a hijab wrong or something, right? Or nobody in Hollywood does, but they don't boycott their filmmakers. They actually give their filmmakers Academy Awards. So what's the difference with Israel? If they don't like their government, which everyone's allowed to not like a government, but why are you boycotting filmmakers? Why are you boycotting artists? Why are you boycotting people who sing or dance or make films? It's really is misguided. Is the nicest way to say it. And I wish I could sit with every one of those one by one and just. I don't think they're necessarily bad people. I just think they're really misguided, and they need. They, we need to have. I don't know what to do about it. That's why one of the things, the reason why I'm doing this, why I made the show, that hopefully they watch it. But yeah, the answer is it was very disappointing.
You had a behind the scenes hero in David Ellison that you were struggling and how you were going to get this distributed and where it was going to go. David Ellison, of course, the new owner of Paramount. Talk to me about the kind of chance meeting and what happened after that.
This is such an incredible story, because I was having the conversation with my investors like the week before. We're supposed to go out and sell it. Like Keshet was screening it and is going to screen it and premiere it in Israel, but we didn't have a buyer for international. We didn't have a buyer for the United States, and the idea was we're going to go sell it in the beginning of September to try to get it to people so they can get it out by October 7th, the second year anniversary. And just when that's happening, the beginning of September, Qatar was just bombed by Israel. It's like that's all that's in the news.
Yeah,
Everyone's talking about that, and it's like this is not a good time. And then Hollywood writes this boycott letter. And all of a sudden, 4,000 or 5,000 Hollywood people are boycotting filmmakers and film producers, whatever, from Israel. It's like, and that's what everyone's talking about. So I have to get on the phone with my investors and say, this is not a good time. We can't go do what we're going to do. And I got yelled at. Like, you can't worry about it. You have to go for it. And I say, you only get one shot at this, right? Because if somebody passes, there's no second chance.
Come back, right?
And in the middle of all this, I'm at this beautiful guy's memorial. His name is Skip Brittenham. Skip Brittenham is like the Mount Rushmore of lawyers in Hollywood. He's this beautiful man. He loved to fish. Everyone loved him. He made the biggest deals at the highest levels, and he was a deal maker. Some people like to make a deal where you get everything and the other guy gets nothing.
He understood a good deal is where everybody walks away feeling good, right?
Exactly. He was that guy. And he had passed away not that long ago, and we all loved him. I know his wife, his son-in-law, and so it was a big group of people, and we were waiting for his bereaved widow Heather to come out. And I run into David, and we start talking. I've known him for a long time, not well, but I know him, and I know he's a Zionist. So I said, "You just have to know what I'm doing." And I got 3 words out of my mouth, and as you could see, his eyes widened and said, "You got to send this to me. Sounds like the timing couldn't be more important." So I waited a day to be respectful to Skip. And he emails me back immediately and says, "I got to see everything." So we sent him the episodes. And I'm going to say humbly, he said, "It would be an honor to be your partner in this." And I was just like, wow, this is David Ellison, the owner of Paramount, saying this to me. it's just like, it was breathtaking. And then he gave them to Cindy. He gave them to Cindy Holland to watch. So she runs Paramount Plus. And it's like giving the baton off to a sprinter.
Yeah.
It's like she said, "Okay, I know it was her. It was like, okay, we want this, but we want to drop all the episodes on October 7th." So what they didn't know at the time was that what we gave them was a final picture lock, but temporary music, temporary visual effects.
Sure. It was everything was rough. Right.
Yeah. I had 10 days. Well, not me, but me and the team had 10 days to like do everything. And I was working all day here in LA, or they're in LA. I'm in New York now. And at night at 11 o'clock LA time, it's 9 o'clock in the morning, Israel time. So I'm all night through the night going through visual effects with them. And anyway, we have an incredible team, but it was intense to get it ready for them.
How proud are you of this? You have so many accomplishments, so many features that speak for themselves. You've been Tarantino's producing partner, so many other things. Where is this different? Where does this fill a different space?
It sounds maybe cliche to say, but this is my heritage. These are my people, if I can just say that, right? It's like, I feel like I'm a Jew. I'm a proud Jew. I'm a Zionist. Even saying the word is such a weird thing that you have to say that. Like there's no other country in the world that you have to say, I believe that America has the right to exist.
I know. I know.
It makes no sense, but okay, we're saying it. And as far as you go back, I'm Jewish. And so that's genetically part of who I am, and I'm proud of it. And I really feel like it was important for me to help support the people from which I come, where my soul is in Israel. And I could not be more proud. It's such a deep feeling to do something for your own personal community. And and I'm really proud of my team and that we did such a good job.
You did. The reviews have been great. I so appreciate your time. The series is Red Alert. It's streaming on Paramount Plus. It's a must-see. If you're anybody that wants to kind of know about what's going on in the world, about how things go on post-October 7th, what happened before October 7th, what happened during October 7th. Really appreciate your time, Lawrence.
Thank you, Donnie. Thanks for having me.
Everybody, thanks for watching. If you like it, hit that subscribe button. And we love having you here watching On Brand. And just don't miss any future episodes. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time.